Hi Gary, I'm making this video for you. I'm showing this thing speeding up. Sometimes it stops all of a sudden, especially if it's a little snag, but right now it's working fine. As long as that's spinning, this whole circuit's working. Okay, here's the 4 lights. They're lit up. Right now I can't see it because I'm doing this in daylight. But each lamp has 12 volts powering it right now. These are 120 volt lamps, by the way, supposedly, and these are LED lamps. I got them hooked in series, and I connected the black and the white wires are positive and negative, and all things you see here. Powering it is going right to my rectifier circuit. Right there's a rectifier circuit. I got 2 big giant caps on this thing. If you shut this thing off completely, these caps will take over and power the circuit. For a while anyhow. That's the rectifier part of it. This other thing right here is a heat sink for my transistor, which is part of the Bedini circuit. And there's the neon lamp right there. Okay, well, the yellow wires are the feed, my AC feed that go. There's my AC. The green wires. Let's see, I'll get my green wires in focus here. Green wires are a high frequency AC feed that come off the Bedini circuit. Now you can't measure that because you need special equipment or a scope to measure that. But so they are fed from the Bedini circuit, which is the yellow wires, to my rectifier, and then my rectifier changes it to DC, and the DC comes out, and right here is the black and white wires. That's my DC feeding that. And with a load on this whole thing, that load, I'm getting 48 volts right here. Here, between here and here, I can measure 48 volts. 12 volts per each lamp. That's the way it is. So what I'm planning on to do later on, I'm going to go right down here and snatch 12 volts and power this setup right here, which I'm trying to make. That's a big coil. If you saw the Stifler coil, here's a blueprint. You've seen that blueprint before. And I'm going to set it on this base here. So I'm going to have a big old pillar here when I'm done with all kinds of stuff on it. Powering this whole thing, by the way, is your 1.5 volt cell phone charger. And the cell phone charger got a 1.5 volt battery inside of it. But what's coming out of it actually is 5 volts. And there's the black wire is my negative, and the yellow and the red are the positive feed coming out of here. Okay? So basically this is the whole circuit. It's running, working. Nothing else is feeding it in. There's no other input coming in here, extra voltage. And the thing's working like a champ. I mean, I never had this thing fail yet. My Bedini circuit fail. And when I tried that business yesterday, lighting that fluorescent lamp with 1.5 volts from out of this circuit here, it blew it up, burned it up. So why would something powered with 1.5 volts blow something else up that is powered by 1.5 volts? I can't figure that out. It blows my mind. I have a funny feeling, somehow or other, this magnet right here, spinning. And by the way, if I stop that magnet from spinning, watch what happens. Now here's my lights. Okay. I'm going to stop this thing with my hand from spinning. Okay, I have the power source hooked up. I have this hooked up. And I'm going to stop this from spinning. And here I go. Okay, it stopped. Now, the lamps will stay lit. Eventually, they will diminish. I don't know if you can see that well in here or not. It keeps going down and down and down. They dim out. What's powering it right now is these 2 guys right here. That's keeping the power on the lamps right here. But it's just like anything else. It's just like having a bucket of water. You could put on a bunch of holes inside of it. It'll drain out slowly until there's nothing in it. So the lamps will eventually quit shining. If I turn the room lights off, you could see that they're still lit all this time. But this has to be spinning in order for this whole cheese to work. I'll try spinning again. Sometimes I'll get real good lucky. It won't do it now. I know why. Getting back to this thing here, I have to take this case off here. You're going to find out right here. You back off the case. The connections in this have to be absolutely clean. I mean, really clean. And if this isn't seated correctly right here onto the battery, this thing won't work. It has to be positively clean connections in here, and that's exactly what I'd have to do to reinstate this whole thing to work again. But if it stops working, if you make this thing and you have it hooked up to a cell phone charger, and it's all of a sudden stops working, you can't spin this by finger. You have to finger start that. If you can't finger start that, then you have to go back in here, and you have to take this and clean it quite well, and then put the battery back in, spin it, and it'll work. That's the only glitch that I've found so far with this thing, but at least I know about it. And getting back to the Bedini box, all this stuff here you could buy on eBay and Radio Shack. eBay and Radio Shack is where you can get all your parts. I got them out of I think out of China because they're big caps. They're rated 450 and 330 microfarads. And I got two of them sit there in parallel together. So I have more than enough. I got a high voltage rating because I figured if I could go later on and I want to make a more powerful circuit, 450 volts working volts will work. If I bought a cap rated less than 450, then I'm stuck with it if it doesn't work. And I'm sort of stuck with it, and then it won't work for me. By the way, when I bought those cameras, there's a couple of things I got them out of the circuit to show. I didn't want to show a cluttered up circuit, so I got my voltmeters out of the way and I got my power supply. I got two caps here out of the batteries, out of those cameras. One of them is an 80 microfarad, is what's specified on the Stifler circuit. Here's the Stifler circuit back again. See that 80 microfarad? One of those caps over there is the cap that I need to work this whole thing. So I got two caps. One of them's something different, but I got the 80 microfarad one, so I'm pretty well set. Like I said, I'm having someone wind this thing for me. I started winding it. I'll take this off right here. You can see I started winding it, but man, it's a chore. I'm not going to do it. Furthermore, I only got 650 feet of wire, and I think it's 800 feet of wire. So I'm having a guy do it. He does that kind of stuff, and he does it in 2 days. He has a machine that does it. So I don't know what else I could say. If you build this Bedini box like the diagram, this is your R10 potentiometer, or R1 I should say, and this is the R2. This is fully counterclockwise. This is fully clockwise. When you're done, it'll be right on the money. That's all I could say. And the rest of the circuit's inside the box. There's a couple of components on the back. I used some tape. I taped the breadboard on top of an Archer Radio Shack box. Then I brought stuff up to one of these European connectors in the back, and then I went up. There's my diode. You can see a little diode right on the back side of that transistor, which I'm coming in on. And there's my B7A lamp. So that's pretty much it. I don't know what else more I could say. It works. It's well worth making because I think this is the best circuit I've ever had. Never failed. And every day it surprises me what it's able to do. It really does. And I think this is an answer, especially when everything's coming out of a 1.5 volt battery. Come on, you know. It's powering this whole thing, this big coil and everything. Something's going on. And I think something happens. There's an answer right here, but I haven't figured it out yet. Why that little magnet there, it's actually tripping the back EMF of that coil to power everything. And that's what's powering it, is the back EMF of that coil, but this is tripping it. That little magnet is tripping the whole thing. There's a lot of answers that I don't have, but right now, everything's working. So if you got any more questions or anything, give me an email, and I'll be glad to help you out anytime. So thanks for watching, Gary. Bye.